Machine Learning Basics with Rubix PHP. Machine learning projects typically begin with a question. For example, you might want to answer the question, who of my friends are most likely to stay married to their partner? Suppose that you went out and asked 4 couples, 2 married and 2 divorced, to respond to 3 features: their partner's communication skills between 1 and 5, attractiveness between 1 and 5, and time spent together per week, hours per week.
The PHP code for defining the samples and features looks like that.
In general, there are 2 types of datasets, labeled and unlabeled. Estimators are responsible for making predictions on unknown samples. Estimators that can be trained with data are called learners and must be trained before making predictions. To start training, pass the training dataset as argument to the train method on the learner instance. Suppose that we went out and collected 4 new data points from different friends using the same questions we asked the couples we interviewed for our training set. We could predict whether or not they will stay married to their spouse by taking their answers and passing them in an unlabeled dataset to the predict method on our newly trained estimator. This process of making predictions is called inference. The PHP code of predicting not labeled samples looks like that.
Let's imagine we went out and collected enough data from our married and divorced friends to build a dataset consisting of 50 samples with their corresponding labels. We could use the entire dataset to train the learner, or we could set some of the data aside to use for testing. For the purposes of the introduction, we'll use a simple holdout validator which takes a portion of the dataset for testing and leaves the rest for training.